Hey guys, glad you could join me. Today I am going to work on some molds I got a little while ago. I really wanted to sell these at the craft show, but I knew that if I tried, it would just stress me out more. So I guess I'll start making them now for next year's craft show. I'm not sure how to describe these. They are 2-layer pendants or keychains or whatever. So you'll do one color here, let it set, and then put it in here to do the second color. So it kind of looks like you could have like sand and then ocean, or green grass and then whatever colors you want to do. I don't think it really matters, but in my the thing that sold me was that it looked like sand with ocean around it, that kind of thing. Other than crafts, I thought it would be really cool to take some sand from the family vacation and then make a charm for each thing. I tried to do something similar to that previously, and not this, but other crafts with the sand, and none of it ever turned out right. So I figured sand would be another medium to use, and if it works, then great. I'll have a charm or a keychain or a necklace, because these are pretty small, a necklace charm, and then I could make one for the rest of the family or whatever. I just took these out of the package and there's already glitter. Glitter gets everywhere. So that's what I'm going to do today. I mixed up 80 milliliters. I know I don't need that much. I poured half of it into another container. I have to make another ribbon color for someone that requested it from the craft show last week. So I'm going to use that for that. But this way, since it's separated, if for some unknown reason I run out for the ones that I'm filling, then I still have some extra and I can just dump it in there. Either way, it'll all get used. So I am going to try and make a sand color, and I'm going to pour it in all of these. Now, I don't know, I haven't quite figured out if this needs to be the blue for the ocean or if it needs to be the sandy color. I haven't figured that out, because some of these look like I feel like that should be blue ocean and then the rest should be sand, but some of them are flipped. So we're gonna see how it goes. I also don't know how it's gonna look when I flip them in there to put them, to finish the job. So we're learning together here. So what I picked was a perfect bronze from Perfect Pearls, and then some gold glitter. Now, either way, it has glitter. It has to look pretty, right? That's how that works. I don't know. I think depending on how transparent it turns out, since this is pretty thick, it should be fine. The thicker it is, the darker it is. This is kind of an example. This is pretty transparent, but since this is so thick here, you can't see through it, that kind of thing. So I'm going to mix it, see where it's at, and then if I have to add a couple drops of brown or even some white just to get it less transparent, then I will. But I'll have to see what happens. I have a little spoon I've been using. This, I believe, came in a kit. They didn't start coming in kits until the last couple that I bought, so I don't know. I think it was a resin kit that came with some powder, but this helps. This, or those little taster spoons, I think I used that in the beginning of my videos. The little taster spoons from like Baskin Robbins, those work great too. Now, I use a lot of mica powder. There are some people that are like, use very little. I like a lot. I haven't run out of any colors, even with as much as I use, so I'm not too concerned about it. And I seem to use the same colors over and over. want to mix that in. Try not to get it on the outside. Sometimes it still gets out there. This is why generally you're supposed to wear gloves. You're also supposed to wear like a respirator mask. The stuff I get is low odor, but even if it wasn't, I don't know that I could smell it at this point. And some people, if you are going to start using resin, wear gloves to start off with. I know that I know one person that's allergic to resin, so if it touches her, she like breaks out in hives and such. I don't. I'm not allergic to it, so all it does is annoy me because it's sticky for a really long time. You can use rubbing alcohol. That kind of helps to get the sticky off. And they do have... sorry, I didn't realize I was advertising for resin products. This just... it gets it out. Like if you have a whole bunch of resin on your hand, this works great. You put it on like hand sanitizer, and it kind of balls up all the resin into little balls. Kind of like when you get Elmer's glue on your finger and you go like this and it kind of rolls up in the balls, that kind of thing. Okay. I think it's a little transparent, but I think with the layers it should be fine. I think that's a pretty good sandy color. Nice glittery color. I am going to use my tool that some of you don't like. I love this tool. It's easy to clean off because it's metal, so if it actually... I clean it off after every use, but if it gets some on there and it sets, you just take a razor blade and scrape it off. Now, the disclaimer with this, and the reason I'm going into detail, I think I have some new subscribers, so hi, welcome. When you use metal, you have to be careful because you don't want to scratch. Look at this glitter. You don't want to scratch your molds because then it'll mess up anything you're trying to make. So don't push too hard, don't scrape it or anything like that. I haven't had any issues, but I've also been working with this the whole time. You can also use toothpicks, skewers. Those two can also scrape, so you have to be gentle with that, but they're not as bad as the metal. And tools like this with a silicone tip. I don't like this because you have to have patience. It seems like it grabs more out than it does working bubbles out. That kind of thing. Because you'll have to get into the crevices and such. It may be able to reach there, but it'll end up taking out more resin than you actually put in. The resin comes off of this pretty well. So that's why I like using it. So there's my metal tool disclaimer. Now, let's see, where do we want to start? I guess we'll start with the small one. Look at this, I got glitter all over the place. I guess it's going in there anyways, I shouldn't have to worry about it. Glitter gets everywhere. Okay, I always mess up the zooming, so if I'm ever out of frame, sorry, that's just, I'm not a professional photographer. So we're going to go with the little one first. Let's get the stick out. So I usually just get like a ball on there, and then you can place it in there. It's hard to record sideways. You can place it into the mold and then kind of scooch it over is what I do. I think I want to zoom this out just a smidge so I can hold it up. Kind of just place it in there and then scooch it where it needs to go. Now with bigger spaces, like if I was doing this, I could just pour it in there and then kind of work out the bubble. The smaller spaces, sometimes it's hard to see whether there's a bubble in there or not. I'm going to try not to dome it too much. I feel like you kind of have to a little bit because there's always going to be bubbles that raise up to the top and then it sinks down. But since I'm going to be using resin again on it, it should fill in if necessary. But that's where I'm at with that. I do hope this turns out okay. It's still a little transparent, even with the layers. But I think you should still be able to see the blue. I don't think I'm going to make the blue too dark. It's not going to be dark, dark blue. Most smart people would be like, okay, I'm going to make one, see how it turns out, and then go from there. But, you know, I like to go head first. Dive straight in there, do all of them, and then go, well, that didn't work. A little bit more in there. Put the bubbles. Okay, that should be fine. Should be able to I'll do these and then I'll add some white. I'll do these and one big one with just this, and then I'll add white to the mixture and see how different that turns out. That's what I'll do. I think the only thing that I don't like about these is I'll have to drill the hole to make it into the charm. Which, I mean, for the most part, I've done okay. I chose to make some gummy bear earrings. Turned out super cute. There's a gummy bear mold. You know, make homemade gummy bears. And I had to drill the hole all the way through it, like straight down through it, so that I can make them into little dangle earrings. And I was successful with it, but it wasn't necessarily perfectly straight down. They still hung on the post okay, because I have post dangle earrings. They still hung okay, but it wasn't technically straight down, so I'm not too proficient with the drilling my own holes. I like the molds that come with the silicone, hole maker. I don't think out here. Kind of like this. There's already a hole worked into it. Those are convenient. Again, I'm trying not to dome. I'm in such a habit to dome things that I make. But see, this will be flipping down. I think most of them flip down into the charm and then you fill, which also throws me because in my mind, what's at the bottom is the front, because that's the smooth side. So I think I'm going to have to dome the finished charm. Otherwise, it won't look right. I don't know. I guess we'll get there when we get there. Okay. Let's do these two. Do I want to do these two big ones? Yeah, let's do these two big ones with just this, and then we'll do the remaining. Yeah, because that'll be 7. So I'll have 5 tiny ones. These 5 tiny ones, and the 2 big ones. And then I'll have these 4 and these 3. I'll add the white in here. That white, what is it called? This is what I use. Pigment ink. This is super concentrated. For like, if I had this whole thing, I would barely want to use a drop. That's how concentrated it is. I try and use as little as possible for that. Otherwise, it'll change like everything for it. If you have a color like red and you try and use it, it'll turn it to pink. Like that's how concentrated it is. And see, charms like this, I would think that this would need to be blue, but why would, I don't understand why they would have some that would be this, the sand, and some be the ocean. I don't know. That's just my OCD talking. Maybe we're just going to have more ocean in this one. I'm sure that's not what they made it for. You know, only sand and ocean necklaces. It'd probably look really pretty with a metallic color. You know, like a metallic purple. And then a flat, I guess you could call it a flat green or something like that. Okay. This is a little bigger so I can kind of pour it in there. I'm not even in frame. Here, let me see. There you go. It's a little bigger, and there aren't any bubbles, or aren't any layers up top here, so I'm just gonna pour it in there. Already making a mess. Okay, there's one. I'm gonna do this. Now the bottom, basically going to just outline the layer so that I know to hopefully prevent bubbles. I'm going to pour some top slowly. Pour some down here, and then I'll just scooch it where it needs to go. Now, even with me feeding it, I'm sure a bubble's going to get stuck somewhere. That's just how that goes. Needs a little more. No. My dog hates it when I'm recording. Starts huffing at me. Okay. It's a little domed, but I feel like it'll go down. I'm going to put a little bit more in this one. Okay, so there's those two. I think it'll be, I don't know if you can tell, it's lighter down here than it is there, because that's where the layers are. So I feel like this will be fine, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to add some white. Jax, go lay down. Go on. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I need less than a drop. So we're gonna go with that. That will probably be, yeah, that'll probably be too much. Okay, let's get my stir stick. Hopefully the other batch won't get too, I'll start setting. I really don't want to, but I think I'm going to have to add a little more. change the color at all. I think we're going to go with that. Okay, let's do the big ones. Oh, well, I'll do the little one and then I'll zoom out. Do that. Well, it's got lots of crevices here. It's so windy out today. It's knocking stuff down on my porch. Kind of excited about these. I hope they turn out okay. I still need to do the alcohol ink stuff. I'm so intimidated by it. I don't even, it's one of those, if you're afraid to fail and then you just don't even try. That's where I'm at with the alcohol ink resin projects. I have all the colors beyond the rainbow, and the couple times I've tried, it just hasn't happened. I don't know if I'm not waiting long enough. I think you have to pour the resin and let it sit to start, processing, and then you do the swirl. I don't know. I have no idea. I've watched so many videos on it and they don't really tell you, and then they'll pour it and then there's a what do you call it? Like, you can tell they turned the camera off and then turned it back on. And I don't know how long they waited. I guess I'm gonna have to do my own little science project and pour it, do one with the drops right away, and then do another with the drops 30 minutes later. I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I know that if you do it right away, like if you don't wait long enough, it just all pulls back together. It doesn't stay in the pattern that you want it. I don't know how long to wait. And then on top of that, I have a tendency to say, oh, okay, I'll come back in an hour. And then the next day I'm like, oh crap. I don't know. Surprisingly, I don't know if I put enough of that white stuff in there. The pigment. I just know if you use too much, it ruins the whole thing. And I've done, I don't know, 800 milliliters, put one drop in it, and it changed the whole entire color and not consistency, but whole entire shade of the color I was trying to get. I'm a little gun shy with the pigment. Okay, so we got the little guys. Let's work on the last 4 big guys. Don't smush things, Jackie. I'm kind of excited about this one. This one you could probably do green and then fill the rest with blue and it'd look like earth. Like, that's how I feel that one looks. If you guys have any suggestions on what you want me to try as far as colors, drop me a comment. Or I'm gonna try, I don't know if it's gonna get done this year. I really wanted to get like a little shop set up, maybe on Etsy or something. That's one of those other things I'm scared to do. I know it would be helpful, just because, you know, not everybody, I never know what everybody wants, so I never have everything everybody wants. I had 2 craft shows ago, somebody wanted a specific color. I have a little crown jar or bowl, you know, put trinkets in, and she wanted it pink, and I don't have a store. I don't have a website. I guess I could start with a Facebook page. I hate Facebook. I guess I could start with a Facebook page and then go from there, maybe. I don't know. I have an email, but you know, people are like, I'll email you. They took my email address and color they wanted and all that, and haven't heard from them. I still made it, but in the last craft show, she wanted a specific color. Oh, awareness ribbon. That's what it is. I couldn't think of that. I keep thinking remembrance ribbon, and I'm like, that's not right. She wanted an orange awareness ribbon. I had gold, but she wanted orange. And with like a store, most Etsy stores have one thing up and they make it the same exact way every single time. I can't do that. Some of my things, like this for example, I have one mold of one shape. You know, I'd say 95% of my molds, I have one of each. I don't have, 5. And I might make 3 different pink whatevers, and they all come out different shades and consistencies as far as how much glitter's in it or how much mica powder I put in it. So if someone orders something on Etsy for, you know, I want a pink, I keep using pink, I'm going to use a different color. I want a blue reindeer. I have a little reindeer mold. I want a blue reindeer. Okay, well, if they get it and it's sky blue, but they wanted cobalt blue, you know what I mean? I have a whole bunch of angry people. So I don't know if I should just make a bunch and then take a picture and say this is what you get, and I only have one of each. But then you have 100 bajillion pictures to go through. No one has the patience to do that. Especially if I do the alcohol ink. You know, there's no way to control where that goes or how deep it sets or anything like that. Can you put another drop in this one? Okay. It's so cold in here. I am curious, for anybody that watches this, where are you watching from? I'm in Missouri, smack dab in the middle. Well, pretty well in the middle. I think I saw in my stats I have some people out of the country, but I don't know if that's legit people or somehow I've acquired bots. Don't know how that would happen. Don't you have to pay for those? You know, pay for likes and views. I don't do that. I don't have the money to do that. That's why I try and show things that are relatively cheap. Now, I did get this off of Amazon. It was another one of those I needed a certain amount of money in the cart kind of deal. Amazon isn't always the cheapest option. The majority of my molds were from Temu or lent to me. The resin, I always get resin. I finally did the math on the resin. I always get it a gallon for $30-something. I wouldn't suggest paying more than... I always get a gallon. Like, that's the most... because I think it's the most cost effective. And then finally figured out, because I was kind of just winging it on the pricing. I didn't want to make it difficult. I think I already said this in the last video. most everything's like $5. But then people started, I say people, my dad started asking me, you know, how much did it cost to make it? I'm like, well, I don't know, a couple dollars. But when you have things like this, or things that you have to actually paint the mica powder or whatever, it takes time. I think my stuff's pretty reasonably priced. I don't want it to be super expensive. The craft show I was in last weekend, some of the stuff was just, it was so high. Now, granted, it was metal jewelry. There was a lot of jewelry at this craft show. I think a lot of it was metal jewelry, which I can understand. Metal's more expensive, and you have to actually have talent for it. But hundreds of dollars for a little rural area doesn't seem very, well, I guess it's not rural. Rural is country, right? So it's a suburb, little suburb. And it's not the rich suburb. We have our fair share of Hoosiers here. I am one of them. I try to hide it. It doesn't always get hidden very well. I think 40 was a pretty good amount. I still have a whole bunch left. I'm going to pour this in here. How are we doing? A little more. Too domed. We're going to get bubbles, so. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to do a double check around here. Put that in there. I'm going to have to move these to a different surface, I think. Put a little more in there. Oh yeah, some of these are already setting. Okay. Alrighty. So there we have it for the first section. We'll do that, let that set, and I will be back. Alright guys, the first pour is set. It's really cold in here, so I have it on a heating pad, and hopefully it'll get some of these bubbles out, because the resin was very cold as well. I meant to bring them inside the house, because my sunroom it's like an addition that wasn't added correctly, so it's not really insulated. But I got 40 milliliters mixed on the heating pad. Hopefully that'll get some of the bubbles out, and then it'll be a little smoother to work with. I think these set okay as far as showing depth and all that. So cross my fingers here. I'll start taking these out. Yeah, see, it was cold. It's been longer than 24 hours, and it's still a little malleable. I guess I just put it in here. Try and make sure it's in there all the way. I think the other one should be a little easier. This one, it was a very thin piece. The thicker ones hopefully are okay. Maybe wishful thinking, I don't know. It's definitely been longer than 24 hours. I know that resin does have a problem sometimes has a problem setting when it's too cold in the room, and it's been pretty chilly. Oh, that looks really pretty. I like that. Okay. I'm going to fit that in there. Push it all the way to the bottom. Okay. I think we're in there. So I'm just going to... Sticky. I want to try and make sure there aren't any gaps underneath. Just because if it doesn't lay flat, then it'll be not right. So let's see. I'm gonna guess this goes all the way down. Oops. Because there's a flat piece there. I'm going to guess it goes all the way down to the bottom of the piece. Okay. Alrighty, and this too has a corner, so it's kind of like a little puzzle. I don't think it matters what side it goes on, because the pendant can be flipped around, like, you know, rotated if necessary. Okay. I think I'm going to pop all of these out first. Just make sure I keep them in the right thing. Oh, come on. This is a two-piece. I wonder how that's going to look. Okay. So this first one here goes in this little guy. Make sure it's pushed up against the edge. Doesn't look like it's pushing. Use this to help it go where it needs to go. It's not scooching. Oh, there we go. Okay. Good there. Sorry if I'm sniffing. Okay. Oops. Stop huffing at me. I think I need to take this off the heating pad. That might be the problem. Uh-oh. I'm going to turn the heating pad off. Alrighty, are we in there? Yes. Okay. This one needs to be on the edge. I guess this, let's stay on the edge. It'll be fine. Okay. Where it needs to go? Let's see. That's a little wonky. I'll try that one again. There we go. Okay. And last one. Shove it in the corner and then press down. I think that's the way it has to work because it doesn't really scooch once it's touching the bottom. In the corner, press down. Okay, we're good with that. Righty. That should go there. Oh, come on. Sorry for the barking. I have deer and he doesn't like the deer, so. Alrighty. All my puzzle pieces are in there. Now, I have 40 milliliters mixed up. I'm not going to use glitter because I kind of want the sand contrast. So I'm going to use just a blue mica, and then I have royal blue. I was contemplating like a turquoise or teal, something along those lines. I just made the decision I didn't want to. I'm pretty sure since what I poured in the gold is less than 40 that I definitely don't need 40, but I didn't think, because I have two containers. I have this one and then I have a smaller one. I wanted to use the smaller one, but I was afraid that 20 wouldn't be enough, so we're going with this. So scoop some powder in there. Then, oh, I haven't used this one yet. Okay. Try not to get blue everywhere. Alrighty. Put 3 drops in there. And we'll see where we're at. Because the deeper it is, the darker it'll get, you know, with the different layers. Kind of like with this one. This is a very thin layer, so it's pretty transparent. Like you can see my finger, but you can't really see the finger under this higher end. I think that's transparent enough. I think that should work. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to feed it in like I did with the other. I'm going to feed it into the crevices, and then if I can pour, I will into the bigger sections. And honestly, if I really wanted to, if there was a bubble in the middle or something, I could put UV resin in there. I've done that for a couple things. You know, you try your darndest to not have any bubbles, and somehow still manages to happen, so. Okay, I'm going to try and pour it. This one, of course, doesn't have a spout, so. I think, even though you can't really see the quote-unquote sand layers, I think it's because of the mold. Once light gets through, you should be able to see it. Fingers crossed. Sometimes if you pour slow enough, it gets all the crevices. Righty. Okay. Might actually need more than 40. Oh. Slow down, Jackie. Okay, poured too much in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stick, dip it in there, and pull some out a little bit at a time until it's where it needs to be. I think that's where it needs to be. That looks right. Okay. Don't think that's enough, but I'm going to push it into this top part here. Maybe it is enough. I think it is. I think that's enough. Okay. Those actually look really pretty. I'm hoping once the light goes through them that That'll work. I might actually, once I'm done pouring it, put the hot pad underneath to try and get all the bubbles out. I think that's supposed to work. Never tried it, but I don't usually use a hot pad, so okay, got the little guys here. See, if there were two of these would make really cute earrings. There's only one. The likelihood of me getting blue and or gold to match exactly is slim to none. So, really don't know what he's barking at. Usually it's deer. Ready? Yeah, that's a super small pendant. Maybe I can try to make earrings out of it. Try and make it match, but you're being really loud out there, you know that? Yeah, you are. Shh. I know. I know. Jax. What? Okay. Let me go see what he's looking at. Hold on just a second. There's nothing out there. He's barking at me because he can't reach me. He needed attention. Hopefully I give him enough. I'm going to turn this around. Oh, I'm on a bump. This mat is not very flat. Another couple drops in here. Okay. Looks like I didn't have it pushed all the way to the side over there, but I don't think that'll be a huge deal. I'll just add some more blue spots. Right? I wish I knew how to add music so it's not just silence. You know, just ever so faint music and then I can still talk over it kind of thing. But I have not figured that out yet. This channel is very much a fly by the seat of my pants kind of channel. So if you were looking for professionalism and consistency and all that fun stuff, this probably isn't the right channel. I was consistent with videos for a while, but then a bunch of things just kept coming up and I missed like 2 months. Well, that whole life thing got in the way. I think that's good. I don't know if I made enough. I thought 40 would be plenty. Oh, I did it really fast. Okay, I put too much in there. I'm going to do the same thing. That's the easiest and probably cleanest way I could think to get excess out. Just because, you know, if you get a, I don't know, one of the bigger things like this, then you can't pull it out and just scrape it back in. Not as easily anyways. Sorry, I'm blocking it. I'm not sure how else to pour it in there. Those actually look really pretty. I'm sure there'll be a shape that I use more. I'm not a huge fan of the square. Now, if you think after all this is done, if you think I should definitely make more square ones, then tell me. I personally like the teardrop shape or the almond shape. Those two. Zoom out a little. Oh, wrong direction. Or even the round. The round will probably turn out really pretty. But I'm not a huge fan of the square. This one is kind of okay, but like this almond shape, I would definitely personally choose this over the square or rectangle. But if you guys think more people would like the square ones or whatever the case may be, tell me so I know. I try to do things outside of my comfort zone, outside of things that I like, because I know not everybody likes the same things as me, which makes sense. We're not all the same. If we were, it'd be really boring. But it's really difficult for I'm slightly OCD. in certain things. So if it doesn't make sense, then I won't do it. Like that's why I did the quote-unquote sand and water colors, because that's what it looked like me. It looked like to me. It looked like a topographical map. So why would you do it any other color? That kind of thing. I put too much in there. Okay. Now this one, I might just have enough, like by the skin of my teeth, have enough. Wipe that off and scrape the container. Yeah. Definitely going to have enough. That's good. Stomach keeps growling. Alrighty. I think it being on the edge isn't really working how it's supposed to. I have a little bit left, so like I've always said, don't waste resin. It's not cheap. Why would you waste it? I'm going to take a smidge out. It looks like nothing's coming out, but I promise it's getting lower. That seems right. Okay. So I don't want it concave, but I also don't want it domed. So I'm kind of adding a little bit to the ones that have already brought the bubbles up. And the way that I see is I kind of look at the reflection of the light, how the light hits. I don't know how to explain that. But those turn out really pretty. I'll probably make a couple more gummy bear earrings. Tomorrow's my last craft show, but I think I'm going to do it again next year. People seem to like a lot of the things. This little jar, let me zoom out. This jar here, I haven't colored in the eyes yet, but it's a little ghost. Sold out of these. I didn't think anybody was going to buy them, and they bought all of them, so that was a surprise. My little gummy bear earrings, no one's bought any of those, but I think they're super cute. So one of these days, I'm going to hit the right demographic, and they're all going to fly off the shelves. So I just made these from the leftover sand gold resin. I did add a little bit of orange because I had to make a orange ribbon. Someone had requested an orange ribbon, so I made an orange one. I'm probably going to make some blue ones from the rest of this. But this looks really good. I'm going to put the heating mat underneath and see if I can bring up some more bubbles, because I want it clear. I don't want it to have a whole bunch of bubbles in there, or see, like this right here. You know, I used my little tool and there's a bubble right there. Those things, little sneaky little. I want to poke that out. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put my heating pad underneath here, try and get all of the bubbles out, and let it set properly. Because like I said, it was over 24 hours because I actually did this, the first part of the video was 2 days ago. But I had to work yesterday, so 2 days and it was still malleable. I mixed it right, so that wasn't a problem. I think it's just too cold in here. I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back for when it's all ready to go. Guys, I think they're all pretty well set. They don't feel like they bend or anything, so I'm pretty excited. I think this actually worked. So we're going to start the small ones here. Oh, that little one you can't really see. I don't even know if this is the best way to show it. Yeah, that looks pretty. You can't really see the bottom layers. I might need to do a little more, or put some more white in it. Maybe that would help. Because it kind of just blends. It's blending. Kind of like, looks like a globe. It's definitely see-through. Okay. Oops. Kind of see it more. The bigger ones. I don't think I like the little ones. The little ones are too little. I think real sand would look really cool though. This one's some of the blue one on the outside. I like the shape. I think, yeah, if I added more white to it so that this wasn't as transparent, it'd probably be more noticeable. I still like the colors though. Oops. I don't even know if the video is catching. I think it looks pretty. Like in person, you can still see the glitter in the layers beneath. You can kind of see the layers. I don't know that it's working on the camera, but you can kind of see the layers. Yeah, I think this needs, if I get sand, I'm going to do this again. And then maybe post a picture or something. Because I think if it's legit sand and more, I guess solid, you could say. I think that'd look cool. Well, there you have it. I like the colors. I do like how they turned out. I think some of these, maybe it'd look better in sunlight. I don't know. I do like them. I think they look pretty. Got a bubble. Did all that work and still got a bubble. But, well, that works. It's kind of thick though. It's definitely keychain or pendant. thickness, but I like them. Not a huge fan of the little guy. Maybe I just need to pick different colors. Maybe I'll try green and blue next time. But there you have it. It worked. There's a couple where the blue, where the blue kind of seeped in between. But I think the hot pad didn't help that very much. Maybe I just put too much mica powder. I keep dropping it. Maybe I put too much mica powder in it, and that's causing the problem. I don't know. Maybe I just need to do color instead of the shiny. That would probably show it more. But so there you have it. I think they look pretty. I like the color scheme anyways. But alrighty. I'm not sure what I'll post next, but that's what I got. So stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy, and I will see you next time.